In today's video, we're going to examine Katt Williams' recently published interview. We'll delve into the rumor that stars are asked to wear a dress at a certain point in their careers and explore what supposedly lies behind it. Additionally, we'll discuss the Harvey Weinstein case. Other topics include Dave Chappelle's escape to Africa, Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, Epstein Island, and an Illuminati meeting between Ludacris and Katt Williams. If you don't want to miss any more videos, subscribe and activate notifications.
Where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing.
Never been Illuminati.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. Martin tried to put me in my first dress.
Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. Katt Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress.
They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why do they not like you?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that stuff on TV.
So in order for you to climb this ladder, every ladder of success, there's a level of hazing attached to it. These are the rituals.
I don't want to do something I don't want
Go to the path. Hey, come here. Listen to me.
Do you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
Mika Williams, also known as Katt Williams, a born comedian and actor, broke away from his parents at the age of 13, moved to Florida, and became a salesman. He then began to start his career as a comedian and had become an established figure by 1999. His breakthrough came in 2000s with the film Friday After Next in the role of Money Mike. Since then, Katt has appeared in over 40 films and organized 100 comedy tours. His movie role in Fridays After Next was one of the reasons why he recently gave an interview with Shannon Sharpe. Rick Smiley claimed that he was supposed to get the role of Money Mike. Katt Williams said he is a liar and it never happened. Anyone who watches Katt Williams knows that in almost every one of his interviews, he gives information about Hollywood and talks about the dark side of Hollywood. In 2006, in a comedy special, he pointed out questionable events at Hollywood parties and was the first to comment on the disappearance of Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was working on the 3rd season of The Chappelle Show when he was informed that he would only receive 10% instead of the agreed upon 50% of the profits. He refused and flew to Africa. After he flew to Africa, many rumors arose. According to Dave Chappelle, the producers of the show spread the rumor that he was addicted and flew to Africa to consume drugs there. Then Katt Williams came on a radio show and defended Dave Chappelle. He claimed that after the producer only wanted to give him 10% instead of the agreed upon amount. Dave Chappelle asked the producer what he thought his fans would say if they found out that they were ripping him off. The producer replied, "By the time you get home, people will think you're a crazy crackhead." And that's exactly what happened.
They said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my nigga got on a flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
After his return, Chappelle claimed that money wasn't the only reason for his escape. They tried to put him in a dress and portray him as crazy in order to administer psychotic medication to control him. He mentioned that he had observed a trend in Hollywood where black artists often find themselves wearing dresses before advancing to the next level. We'll delve into the reasons shortly. This phenomenon isn't exclusive to black artists.
When I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, why all these brothers gotta wear a dress? This happened to me. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. The people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on.
In his recent interview, Katt Williams said they wanted to put him in a dress too. Martin Lawrence proposed a role for him, envisioning them as police officers working together. Katt Williams initially anticipated something akin to Bad Boys, but Lawrence offered him a part in Big Mama's House too. For those unfamiliar, Big Mama's House features a police officer who goes undercover disguised as a woman to solve crimes. Katt Williams was taken aback when Lawrence pitched the role to him. He declined it and, in frustration, suggested Brandon T. Jackson as an alternative, a decision that eventually came to fruition.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got.
During that time, Brandon T. Jackson recounted in an interview how Katt Williams had cautioned him against wearing the dress. Brandon T. Jackson even believes that there is something spiritual behind this whole dress ritual. He claims that he felt cursed afterward. He also mentions that Martin Lawrence, after putting on the dress, wasn't the same anymore.
Only Katt Williams. Katt Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress. I was cursed by it. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then. That's truthful. No one can tell me, hey man, you thinking too much, man. You sit down, man. Everything went wrong. Just like everything went right. Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. Even with Martin, things went wrong when he did it too, because Martin is very anointed. Martin is a very strong man. And Dave Chappelle said that too. He says things about that too. But something's changed.
No, he definitely had like a lot of fire.
Honestly, I think it's a spiritual thing, but everyone has their own journey. I can't say what it is. I don't know. I think, you know, for me, I can only speak for my journey. Once I put the dress on and I had that fire was put out.
There's much speculation about why men have to wear women's clothes. Not only black artists, but also white entertainers are asked to put on dresses. Let's explore two different narratives explaining why someone might be asked to do something like that. The first theory suggests a connection to the so-called gay mafia in entertainment. They aim to desensitize people to men in women's clothing and normalize the phenomenon. In various forms of entertainment, whether music or film, roles are often reversed, with men portrayed as feminine and having feminine characteristics, while women are depicted as masculine with masculine characteristics. Brandon T. Jackson also mentioned that the intention could be to emasculate these people. The actor Tommy Lister addressed this topic about 30 years ago.
I'm the most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why do they not like you in Hollywood?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. You had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gutter. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy to wear a dress. You know what I'm talking about.
Another perspective is that it's a humiliation ritual, also known as hazing, a practice commonly associated with college fraternities. Many of you may be familiar with at least one film where you have seen it depicted, albeit in a different form. This ritual is often conducted before one can join a college association. I'll illustrate with two short scenes from the film So High and The Prince of Bel-Air, so that you can understand exactly what is meant.
That's toilet water. It's a part of my pledge. Do you guys mind?
No.
Your pledge leader. Attention, busters! I hope you like your new uniforms. You will be wearing them for a week. It looks like to me our floor needs a little scrub. And a wax and a polish too, I might add. It's a good idea, Pledge Banks. Pledges, get busy.
Before you can join an American college association, you typically have to undergo an initiation ritual, often several times. In most cases, these rituals involve something humiliating, as seen in the previous clip, drinking toilet water, cleaning the underpants of association members, and other similarly degrading tasks. For instance, at Skull and Bones, a secret society whose members include figures like George Bush, initiates undergo rigorous and often humiliating rites. It is reported that initiates may be required to lie naked in a coffin with others, sharing secrets and engaging in activities like masturbation. This is not merely a conspiracy theory but has been documented in articles, including in the Washington Post. There are several reasons behind these rituals. Firstly, they serve to assess the seriousness and moral principles of the applicant. Secondly, they aim to build psychological bonds within the group. Additionally, they test the applicant's willingness to follow orders, regardless of their nature. Rapper Smart has also addressed this topic, suggesting that initiation rituals are often prerequisites for advancing to the next level of success.
You gotta look at what's going on so you understand the purpose of it. Yeah. Yes, if you're in a fraternity, right? Or you're in the army, or you whatever it is, there's levels. You can't get, if you're a police officer, a sergeant, they got stripes on it, you know what I mean? They got stripes for reasons. Them bars represents years, nigga. You heard? So in order for you to climb this ladder, every ladder of success, there's a level of hazing attached to it. These are the rituals, because that's their ritual. That's their rite of passage to get to the next level of witchcraft, magic, or whatever that is.
Katt also claimed that he and the rapper Ludacris were invited to what is referred to as an Illuminati event. He also hinted at the topic of hazing. As we discussed earlier, there are different types of hazing. Not every man asked to put on a dress would comply. For some rappers, such an act would damage their image and influence, rendering them less useful. Hence, there is another form of hazing, such as sacrificing something beloved, which doesn't necessarily mean a person. Katt Williams mentioned that Ludacris had to cut his afro and then signed a contract worth over $200 million.
Are you related to Luda?
So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies.
One particularly intriguing incident involves Ludacris himself mentioning it at an awards ceremony after winning a Grammy. He said, "So tell me that I just had to cut my hair to win a Grammy for the best rap album. It could be a coincidence, but it's striking that Katt Williams mentioned the hair-related aspect, and Ludacris referred to it too in connection with success."
So y'all telling me all I had to do was cut my hair to win the best rap album? That's what y'all telling me? Huh?
Katt implied that his sole aim in Hollywood was to have never sucked a penis, hinting that in Hollywood, everyone at some point may have to engage in unconventional practices to maintain their status or advance to the next level. In response to Katt Williams, Ludacris asserted that he is not part of the Illuminati, and regarding the compromising implication, he stated that he always left his parties with women.
When I was born, never been Illuminati, only a Ludinati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm...
There are peculiar recordings involving Ludacris and producer Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones was previously mentioned in the Will Smith video. Public Enemy's Professor Griff alleged that Will Smith had relationships with producers Quincy Jones and Benny Medina regarding the role of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Recently, footage has surfaced that some interpret similarly, this time between Quincy and Ludacris. Normally you wouldn't think anything wrong if someone held his hand like that. He sat next to each other, and maybe he didn't want to pass over with his right hand. But because of Quincy's past, many now think that's more like, "You are my girlfriend." Maybe you can still remember the words from Ali Vegas. He said back then that many of the producers often take the little rappers as girlfriends.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these niggas don't be hanging out. These niggas be girlfriends to these niggas.
Yeah, exactly.
They be girlfriends to the bigger niggas. Like,
yep.
I said, I'm just telling you, like, all right.
Also, he makes a claim that is stranger than the others. Katt Williams said that African American industry plans get women with certain characteristics. He said part of their program is to get a light-skinned woman who never gives interviews or statements. That applies to 8 artists. Later, he indicates that part of this contract is that they always have something against the artist in hand to overthrow him if the wrong things are said. Maybe that is the answer to that question, why they get these women.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Katt Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right?
Briefly on the subject of industry plants. Industry plants are individuals who appear to have had a conventional rise in the entertainment industry. But this is not the case. You probably know it when you suddenly see the face of a new rapper. You hear his music everywhere and see his face everywhere. But you don't really know where this artist came from. It's highly likely that this artist is an industry plant. Industry plants are artists who haven't followed the typical path to success. Normally, a rapper, for example, releases tracks, builds a following, and if they're talented, a label takes notice and offers a record deal. However, Industry plants bypass this process. They often secure contracts through connections and may not even possess genuine talent, as they are provided with pre-written material. Essentially, labels skip the talent search by taking anyone, shaping their image, artificially boosting their profile through methods like social media promotion, securing #1 singles, and featuring them in talk shows, radio, and playlists, thus catapulting them to stardom. Bobby Shmurda even claims that there are troll farms that are supposed to give the impression that a certain artist is popular. I'll give you an example. They have a new artist, and nobody knows him. Of course, you need people to comment on his posts and act as if they are his fans. The views on his videos also have to be increased because nobody knows him at the beginning. You have to artificially create the hype so that the artist gets noticed. There are entire troll farms dedicated to liking, commenting, and artificially inflating view counts. Initially, clicks may be purchased, and if the artist's hype diminishes, additional clicks might be bought again. However, many of these lesser-known rappers eventually transition into bona fide stars due to relentless promotion by their label. Katt Williams alleges a similar phenomenon in the field of comedy. Many of these artists also fabricate a promotion story, claiming they rose from homelessness to success, when in reality, most attained their positions through relationships. For example, he accused Kevin Hart of being an industry plant.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Katt Williams also spoke about an encounter with film producer Harvey Weinstein, who asked him in front of his entourage if he could perform oral sex on him.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my ass in front of all my people at my agency.
Let's briefly discuss who Harvey Weinstein is. He was an American film producer who founded the production companies Miramax and Weinstein Company. Weinstein produced numerous well-known films from the 1990s, including Kill Bill Volume 2, Scream, Scary Movie, Lord of the Rings, and many more. On October 10, 2017, Ronan Farrow published an article that exposed events in Hollywood. Initially, 16 women came forward, 13 of whom claimed to have been harassed and abused, and 3 raped by Weinstein. Later, another 96 women alleged instances of sexual assault, while 16 reported rape. In total, there were 109 accusations. Some victims reported assaults occurring between 2004 and 2013. Additionally, there is an incriminating audio recording from a sting operation conducted by the New York Police Department's Special Victims Unit in 2015. In the recording, Weinstein can be heard asking the model Amber Gutierrez to enter his bathroom and give him 5 minutes to get dressed. However, it's apparent that he intended more, as Gutierrez mentioned feeling overwhelmed and scared from the previous day's encounter. It's also evident that this was not the first time Weinstein had harassed her, as she confronted him about touching her breast the day before. Weinstein replied that he was used to it.
Go to the bathroom. Please, I don't want to do something I don't want to.
Go to the bathroom. Come here. Listen to me.
I want to go downstairs.
I'm not going to do anything. You'll never see me again after this. Okay? On everything. I'm a famous guy.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now.
Please come in now. And 1 minute. And if you want to leave, when the guy comes with my jacket, you can
yesterday you touched my breast.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used to that?
Yes, come in. Because
No, but I'm not used to
I
that.
won't do it again. Come on. Sit here. I won't do it.
I know, but yesterday was too
The
much.
guy's coming. I will never do another thing to you. 5 minutes. Don't ruin your friendship with me for 5 minutes.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's too much for me.
The unbelievable aspect of the story is that actually everyone knew several years before the matter was exposed. It was even joked about several times on television.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein.
So beautiful, Harvey Weinstein has already asked tonight up to his hotel to give him a massage.
5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, please. I'm not afraid of anyone in show business. I turned down intercourse with Harvey Weinstein on no less than 3 occasions out of 5. Look, I get it. I know how former lovers can have a hold over you long after they're gone. In some ways, I'm still pinned under a passed-out Harvey Weinstein, and it's Thanksgiving.
The question that should be asked is why it wasn't exposed beforehand. Everyone knew what was going on. Katt Williams also answered this question. He said, "The whole of Hollywood is something like a gang that doesn't talk because they profit from the whole thing. They get money to keep quiet about certain topics. In most cases, they have contracts that wouldn't allow them to open their mouths, and many of them are involved in this or other questionable things. That's why everyone keeps their mouth shut, and as soon as someone speaks, they are simply canceled."
You're not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't. Only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
However, that doesn't explain why the authorities didn't intervene. It's already been joked about publicly, and the authorities aren't ignorant. When such enormous amounts of money, power, and influence come together in one place, you can be sure that the authorities are paying attention, especially in Hollywood, which is supposedly full of agents. It should have been noticed by someone. Some speculate whether Weinstein had the same protection as Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey was caught several times and often drew the attention of investigators. Government officials report that he was often told to stay away from him because he is an agent. That brings us to the last story, which we will only briefly touch on because I will be making a whole video about it soon. Namely, one claim that was also made in the Katt Williams interview, namely that the names of Chris Tucker and Michael Jackson appeared in the Epstein documents. This man is said to have been an agent who filmed politicians, scientists, lawyers, and Hollywood stars with minors, and then used these recordings to blackmail them. Chris Tucker was even asked about it once, and he said he didn't know whose plane it was.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. You know, we flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different. Well, that was a humanitarian trip to Africa, and I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people who was with us.
The question you should ask yourself is why no one has been arrested yet. On this island, hidden cameras were everywhere, many as small as a pin, running 24 hours a day. This means there are recordings of almost everyone, if not everyone, on this island. These recordings are likely still being used, either as leverage or for political purposes. Of course, it's possible that some individuals were deceived, unaware of who owned the plane or the true intentions behind the flights. Imagine being an influential person, a well-known politician, lawyer, or Hollywood star, invited on a flight without knowing who the plane belongs to. Then afterward, you're blackmailed. For instance, they might have brought a child on the flight and taken a photo. Who would believe you if you claimed you were tricked? Nobody. This situation could be used to blackmail an innocent person, effectively. Let's finish with a short part of a Hotbox episode by Mike Tyson and Katt Williams. Many of the things we discussed in today's video were conspiracy theories a few years ago. A man like Alex Jones talked 10 years ago about this island. People didn't believe him because it's a conspiracy theory, but in the end, everything he claimed about this case was true.
But, tell me about your conspiracy, brother. What you believe in? He said you believe in that one.
I'm never pretending to know the answers to things that I'm going into. I'm going into it trying to find out the answers. So that frees me up, that my ego's not involved in what the answer turns out to be. But we collect information, and there aren't that many conspiracy theories anymore because we found out that all conspiracy theories, there's a nugget of truth in there. It came from somewhere. That's where it became a theory. And then it progressed to the point where it became a conspiracy theory because there was something there.
What do you think about this whole story? Write it in the comments below. If you don't want to miss new videos, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.
Big Dick Deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.